I'm at Divertimenti Marylebone High Street for the Divertimenti Culinary Salon, and it's my pleasure to welcome Rose Prince. Thank you for joining us. And I'm holding my not dog ear, because I don't dog ear, but my well-used copy of Pocket Bakery. And the recipes are fantastic, but so is the story behind it, which I found to be quite moving. But if you could share a little bit about what the Pocket Bakery...
The Pocket Bakery was set up for two children to earn pocket money, my children, in 2010. And I became, like a lot of parents of teenagers, fed up of just handing my children money every time they asked for it, and they were asking for more and more, and the things they want, especially living in London, get more expensive. And I said to them, I really think you should earn some of your money, and I wasn't prepared to sort of pay them for doing things I think they should do anyway, like tidy their bedroom, not that they ever did, and or wash up. So I said, let's start a little industry, and we hit upon doing sourdough breads because they have great value, and they also fit into the sort of time thing. You can't put your children up the chimneys, so if you're going to have them work, it's got to fit in. And this was something we could make and do on a Friday afternoon, evening with a break, and then finish off baking the following morning, because it's a slow fermentation bread. And the other reason is because they have great value. Sourdough is a valuable bread to sell, so you sort of make more, and it's all labour, which is perfect for children, so there's very little costs. And having had the great idea, we didn't do anything about it for 6 months, because I actually didn't know how to make sourdough bread, so I had to get some lessons. Well, not exactly lessons, but a very good friend helped us begin. And the children wouldn't even help me on the first night, because they couldn't believe I'd been serious about this idea and how embarrassing it was, and awful. Yeah, they thought it was a joke. So I made the bread that evening, messed it up a bit, but managed to make 20 quid the following morning and showed it to them. And their eyes lit up, and they thought, well, we could try this. It didn't seem to be too difficult. And for the next 1.5 years, we did that every evening. And it just became a sort of local phenomenon. We had no bakery in our area in Battersea, North Battersea. We had a lot of neighbours. We ticketed the neighbours, and they came around, or rather leafleted them. And we sort of met people that we hadn't known, even though we've been there 16 years, which is kind of rather extraordinary. And it became very wonderful. And in the meantime, my son, who hadn't really sort of been a conventional student at school, was using baking to kind of get himself out of that dire situation, which he was, not enjoying, and no one was enjoying, his school and us, nobody, to, become more entrepreneurial and to sort of carry on doing the bakery, even though when everything went wrong with his education and an apprenticeship, and a few things happened, and he's still in it, and still selling bread, still working for the people who originally taught us. So it's a very nice circle. And the book is based on the recipes that we picked up during that time, and also those which I used to use in a little pop-up I did for the bakery of pies and cakes and so on that we did once a week as well.
I mean, one of the things that comes through, and I think is so true about bread, is that even though it can be a long period in the fermentation period, it's not that labor intensive. No. So you can do it, leave it, and go off and do whatever else you need.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of time, making a modern yeast bread with conventional yeast is much more work, because you have to knead it so much more and to get the texture. And it's when you make a sourdough and you do the first mix and you leave it and you go back to it, you just find it's completely transformed on its own, and it sort of develops its own texture. What it does need is more sort of careful shaping. You have to be quite kind of clever about how you shape it, or at least learn how to do it. But I mean, it fits in perfectly to time. I mean, when people say I haven't got the time to do something like that, I will argue with them for ages, or make them come round on a Friday and see it happen, because for us, it was 45 minutes mixing and cleaning up after school, and then 7:30 in the evening cutting it and shaping it, and then it went into cloths to coucher, to sleep overnight. And then at 8 o'clock in the morning, so not 1 a.m. like the horrendous kind of baking that we all think it is, at 8 in the morning I would get up and bake it. I couldn't get my children to get up and bake it. That was the one thing that I said I would do.
There's only so much you can ask.
No, I think yeah.
Well, it's a fabulous book.
Thank you.
Great recipes and a great read. And thank you so much for joining us at the Culinary Salon.
I'm looking forward to it very much. Thank you.